Hello everyone, welcome to First Chapter Friday. This week we have Worst Case Collin by Rebecca Caprara. Before, I used to dream about normal stuff like making the swim team, acing my social studies quiz, getting revenge on Liam for pranking me all the time. These days my main goal is to prevent disaster from striking again. Or, at the very least, to be better prepared. Which is harder than it sounds when you're in middle school, and calamities of various sorts occur daily. Now I carry a bright orange book in my pocket at all times. It has instructions for outrunning killer bees, crawling out of quicksand, surviving an earthquake. There's even a part about escaping from a car submerged in water. My friend Georgia says if any of those things actually happened, you'd never have the time or wits to check your little orange book. She has a good point, so I'm memorizing every chapter, starting with the one about the sinking car. Swimming. I've become a good swimmer, backstroke, freestyle, butterfly, which is the most challenging. My friend Liam is a decent swimmer too, but he prefers to invent his own wacky strokes. Watching him from the pool deck after school makes me laugh so hard. I snort Gatorade through my nose, especially when he attempts the slippery noodle double kick. My favorite is side stroke because it's low intensity and can be sustained over long distances, handy if you become lost at sea, for example. Coach Baker says side stroke, along with all of Liam's inventions, aren't official strokes, at least not in competition. That's fine by me. I'm not in this for speed. Survival is more important than winning medals. Side stroke. Pick a cherry, put it in your basket. 1. Pick a cherry, put it in your basket. 2. That's what I repeat in my head when I practice, making sure to avoid the danger zone under the diving board. Pick a cherry, put it in your basket. 3. I stretch my arms, kick my legs, counting each cherry, not how many laps I do, which is a lot. I've been swimming every day since the accident, except for the days when lightning threatens to shock the water and everyone in it, or the days when the water gets shocked with chemicals because some knucklehead pooped in the pool. Pick a cherry, put it in your basket. 4. I swim, pick, pick, pick. The cherries never weigh me down. They're not real, thankfully. T-minus 119 days. X. Leah makes a calendar, a countdown until the last day of school. Each red X makes him and Georgia giddy for the freedom of summer vacation. Each red X twists my stomach into a knot. Math. The kind of math my dad teaches is brain-numbingly hard. Not like 1 cherry plus 1 cherry equals 2 cherries. Dad's math has more letters than numbers, which makes 0 sense to me. Then again, I'm not the genius. He is. Dad's dream. For as long as I can remember, my father has dreamed of solving something called the Riemann hypothesis. Lots of very smart people consider this impossible, which only makes Dad more determined to figure it out, which I think is very cool. Magnificent boy. Every time we'd visit Dad at work, the big green quad buzzed with people, studying, tossing frisbees, lying in the sun like lizards. Mom would pack a picnic lunch. Dad would meet us in the shade on a checkered blanket. Students would wander over all starry-eyed. "Hi, Professor Bray," they'd say, tripping over their words. Dad would put down his sandwich, wipe crumbs from his beard, introduce us. "This is Melody, my brilliant wife. And this fine young man is Collin, my magnificent boy." Mom would blush, but I would sit up straight, suddenly growing 3 inches taller, basking in his attention like the sunbathers, soaking up golden rays. Georgia's dream. Georgia says she has the same dream over and over. She goes to school and realizes she forgot to get dressed. She's so mortified she runs home. "Why do you run home?" I ask. "Because I'm buck naked, wouldn't you?" To Georgia, home is a safe place. My turn, Liam says. Sometimes I dream that I go to school. And? That's it. That's it? Yeah, school's the worst, except recess. Recess is the best. We stare at him. What? I thought we were sharing nightmares. I don't share mine. Worst case scenario number 11, avalanche. When traveling in areas prone to avalanche, wear a small radio beacon to transmit your location to rescue crews. If you feel snow and ice shifting underfoot, attempt to move uphill above the crack line. If you are swept into the avalanche, try to swim or thrash to the top of the snow. Reach for the sky, keeping one arm above your head. This will help rescuers find you and make climbing out of the snowpack easier. If you are buried deep, spit into the snow to create a vital pocket of air. Note where gravity carries your saliva. Dig in the opposite direction. Breathe. Nicknames. Tyson and Keith think they're so hilarious, making other kids laugh when they call me names. Leggy Peggy, Sweaty Betty, Nervous Nellie. Forget grizzly bear attacks and typhoons. Apparently growth spurts, overzealous sweat glands, and responsible emergency preparedness are the real threats. Discovery. There were times before when an avalanche of ideas would bury my dad. When he needed to dig through mountains of notes and numbers, clawing and tunneling his way out, I sneaked down the stairs, into the basement, clutching the railing, stealing glimpses of whiteboards swept with equations, stacks of books rising from the floor like stalagmites in a cave, computer screens washing the room in a pulsing blue glow. Dad paced, muttered, surely on the brink of a breakthrough. Discovery is a messy process, Mom would say. Your father works best in a state of creative chaos. Collections. Part of that chaos came from Dad's collections. Newspaper clippings, calculations on napkins, pages torn from notebooks. He was supposed to keep all that stuff at the university or in the basement. If his parents appeared upstairs, Mom shuffled them into neat stacks and clipped the important-looking sheets into fat binders onto labeled shelves. Then came the broom, the dustpan, the garage bin. Dad would grimace, twitch, flinch. Sometimes he'd go out for a walk or take me to Miguel's, where half a dozen tacos with extra hot sauce helped him forget that Mom was messing with his mess. Numbers. Miguel, have I ever asked about your number? Dad said one afternoon when we visited the taqueria together. Phone number? Miguel asked, holding up a tray with food. It's right on the sign. No, a different kind of number. A lucky number? I suppose you could call it that. Everyone has at least one number they feel connected to. Ah, yes, I understand. Miguel winked at me. He tapped some buttons on the cash register. Today, Professor Bray, that number is $11.97. I knew that made Dad happy because both 11 and 97 are prime numbers, his favorite. 8. Mom always chose the number 8. She liked its symmetry. Best of all, 8 is an upright infinity, looping, 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 around, around, around. No beginning or end because she was supposed to be with us forever. Prime time. In class, Mrs. Treehorn says, can anyone tell me what a prime number is? Me, Sabrina, the class kiss-up squeals. Georgia's hand rockets up too. Collin can. I shoot eyeball laser beams at her, but Georgia keeps smiling like she's doing me a favor. Go ahead, Collin. Sabrina huffs. Everyone stares at me. I have no choice. A prime number can only be divided evenly by 1 and itself. Wonderful. Thank you, Collin. Now, can anyone tell... Collin's dad is a mathematician, Georgia interrupts, still wearing that smile. He's solving one of the most important math problems in the world. What kind of dork squad decides that, Keith snickers. The Clay Mathematics Institute, I mumble. Boring, Tyson groans, which sounds like boring. He'll get $1 million if he gets it right, Georgia says. That grabs everyone's attention, especially Miss Treehorn, who's skilled at sniffing out dreaded little things called learning moments. Collin, is this true? I nod the blazing tomato that is my head. How fascinating. Tell us more. If you want to make scrambled eggs out of my brain, ask me about the Riemann hypothesis. If you want to see my father light up like a Christmas tree, ask him about it. I wish Miss Treehorn would just forget about this stupid learning moment. She won't. So I recite something Dad said a billion times. It's a conjecture that the Riemann zeta function has its zeros only at the negative even integers, and the room is silent. Even Miss Treehorn blinks, head cocked, confused. Yeah, I don't really get it either, I say, my palms sweat. It has something to do with prime numbers. It's one of the Millennium Prize problems. And your father is really working on a proof? He's trying. But the truth is, I'm not so sure anymore. All right. And that is First Chapter Friday with Worst Case Collin.